Today we're talking about hidden history. Yeah. I am the petitioner of the Constitution's checks and balances, of which President Donald Trump took oath of office knowing he needed 2/3 of the House and the Senate for previously breaking oath of office. And that is hidden history, what they call a government cover-up. Now, I'm the petitioner of the Constitution's checks and balances. And the Constitution's checks and balances, as you can see right there, prevent the unconstrained exercise of power. The Republican form is defined as one in which the powers of sovereignty are vested in the people and or exercised by the people, either directly or through representatives chosen by the people to whom those powers are specifically delegated. And in this instance, I am the petitioner of the Constitution's checks and balances because the government has usurped the Constitution's checks and balances in all three branches of government. Now, as you also see, the checks and balances are to guard the people, we the people, power to the people, against combinations of government power. Now, as being the President of the United States, as you can see, breach oath of office, usurping the Constitution's checks and balances, which are an official order mandate the government be checked for corruption, so they're refusing to be checked for corruption. And as you see, once again, in refusing, what's the penalty for violating oath of office? Removal from office. So, President Donald Trump can commit his own demise, as this was delivered February the 24th, and this way up in July. So he has concealed this, running, ducking, and hiding from the Constitution's checks and balances, which are what? An official order mandate the government be checked for corruption. And his refusal to the Constitution requires what? Removal from office. As when he was the former 45th President of the United States, and as you can see right here, he is petitioned by me, Jesha Miller, with the Constitution's checks and balances and official order mandate the government be checked for corruption, of which they concealed from the public. Concealment, that's another criminal act under Title 18, 1001. Then you have the federal judges, Mr. Miller's motion for order the media, it's so the public can understand and know of government corruption, cover the Constitution's checks and balances. And at that time, President Biden's indictment, he also breached oath of office, which was concealed from the public. But there you have it right there, a federal judge denying the guaranteed right of the First Amendment to expose government corruption. Now, as the president this time, White House says Trump is considering this now, suspending the habeas corpus. What would that mean? There you see it right there. What would that mean? I'm going to tell you what it means. Section 9, powers denied government. This is a power denied government, and he's trying to suspend it. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless in cases of rebellion or invasion of public required. And that ain't happened since the Civil War. That's how long ago that was. But you see what that is. Powers denied government that the president is trying to suspend. That's our right to freedom. And the president is trying to suspend it. That's communism. Yeah, that's communism. And also he said honoring our vets. Well, United States Air Force Jesha Miller reporting, yes, violating the rights of those who serve their life to protect the Constitution. That is why 50 states, 50 protests demand the Constitution's what? Checks and balances, as I showed you before. Yep. To guard against this, they're doing whatever they want, and they have taken over. And if you take over that Constitution, that's communism. I'm going to show you right here. As he's been petitioned, I just showed you, he received it February 24th. This is July, and he ain't done nothing. And if he ain't done nothing, he has no intention to do nothing. And that's breach of oath of office, that's concealment, and that's obstruction of justice. As what I said, the checks and balances are an official order mandate the government be checked for corruption. And that's his duty. This executive branch is responsible for enforcing the laws of the land. And what the Constitution's checks and balances are an essential part of the Constitution. Absolutely necessary to uphold the integrity of the Constitution, and extremely important to protect the rights of we the people, to protect the rights of the citizens of the United States of America. And this is what Donald Trump is doing, and this is what the media has a duty, democracy, to hold them accountable, of which they ain't done. Hold the powerful accountable. Got to have transparency. And that transparency comes from the media, which is concealed it from the public. Then, this Criminal Act, Section 241, Title 18, prohibits two or more from conspiring to restrict someone's rights or privileges. Well, as you see, they have restricted it, ignored it, and usurped it as the checks and balances and official order mandate the government be checked for corruption. Now, as the president, for this reason, I'm going to show you communism, he trying to get him to sign a executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer, and is asking Congress to pass that policy into law. That's communism, where the government has taken over, and the people, if you do anything, then that's a death penalty, because all three branches of the government are corrupt, as I sit there and told you. Now, when previously in office, here is to Donald Trump, October the 24th, 2018, as you can see right there, honor the Constitution's checks and balances once again, immediately, or be impeached. Because what's the penalty for breaching oath of office? Removal from office. And that mandate, an official order or commission to do something. And that is that they must be checked for corruption, of which the president has refused to do. Why are you going to refuse to do that? Motives. Money and power. Power, okay, because you can't keep on being the president of the United States. You can't keep on enforcing a law that is in defiance of the Constitution and not adhere to the laws of the Constitution. So there's a transfer of power to the people. Power to the people. And so what y'all do, hey, subscribe to the channel. Reign on government corruption. What we have here is I said money and power, right? Yeah. Preliminary injunction. And as you see, right there in that preliminary injunction, the feds owe $13.3 billion for continued oppression. They've been doing this for 10, 12 years now. And the state of Indiana owes $250 million. As you see right there. And it's up there for you to freeze frame and do whatever you want to. But yeah. Now, you got power to the people, power to a black man, and you owe $13.3 billion. And the state of Indiana owes $250 million. Violating the 13th Amendment. Prohibited slavery. Yeah, that's right. So, in doing that, along with them, hold up, you got Pamela Bondi, United States Attorney General. And that's to United States Attorney General. You need to go public, informing the public. I'm immediately owed $13.3 billion, of which they have not done. Why? That's a government cover-up. And as I said, that's Pamela Bondi in the government cover-up. And this also would be Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent. Yeah. Conspiracy against rights. And there we have this filed in the federal courts. Yeah. Scott Bessent. He's collecting $4.9 trillion, and he owes a black man $13.3 billion, of which he has not paid, concealed from the public. Conspiracy against rights. That's a criminal act. That's why the president said if anybody shoot law enforcement, because law enforcement is the one that's corrupt, and the people have to stand. And you got the Speaker of the House. Yeah, that's Mike Johnson. Take that Constitution checks and balances to the floor, of which he has not done. Why? Because that's a government cover-up. 50 states, 50 protests demand the Constitution checks and balances, petitioned by Jesha Miller. So run more than your mouth. This empowers the citizen. Power to the people. Power to the citizens. And they must be heard. So President Donald Trump, I'm owed a visit to the White House. Send that invitation immediately. As I'm saying, yeah, this is July the 13th. Should have been Friday 13th, right? Hey, the president, Congress, all had to be held accountable. That's what we was talking about. What you doing is in defiance of the Constitution. And you conceal this with the help of the media. July 13th, 2025, Jesha Miller, leader of the Constitution, and 50 states, 50 protests demand the Constitution's checks and balances.